Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of DEF CONF US. I hope you've had a great time these past 2 days, have had a chance to attend all the amazing sessions and workshops, talk to the booths. So today, the keynote that we have is a student and intern showcase so that we can take a look at what our future generation of developers have been up to. So we're going to start with the SoarCS program. This is a peer-led summer bridge program for entering first-year students majoring in CS at UMass Lowell. The program was started in 2019, and incoming students spend around 4 weeks over summer break learning how to code, creating some amazing projects, and connecting with faculty and other students. We have the coordinator of the program, Tom Wilkes, in the crowd today. Say hi, Tom. If you would like to know more about this great program after the session, please find him, and I'm sure he's happy to talk to you more about it. All right, so I should have been on this slide. My bad. So let's get started. We are going to highlight around 7 projects today. They are ranging from, how you move your music from one location to another, to having an ALPR prototype that reads license plates. All right, so let's get started. The first one we have is QuickSwitch by Fee and Cristian. Hi, Fee. Hi, Cristian. Can you tell me a bit more about your project and what motivated you?
Well, my name is Cristian Cannella.
Yeah, so I'm Fee. I'm also an incoming freshman at UMass Lowell. So a few weeks ago, my Spotify playlist, or not my Spotify playlist, sorry, my Spotify Premium ended, and I'm someone who only uses Spotify Premium when they give me good discounts. So what happens usually is I'm switching between Spotify, YouTube, and other streaming platforms. And one really annoying thing that happens is I'm adding a bunch of songs to, let's say, my Spotify account when I have the premium. And then when I switch to YouTube, for example, I don't have those songs already added to my playlist. So what happens is I have to type in all the songs, add them, and keep repeating this process over hundreds and hundreds of songs, and it gets very tedious. So that's where the idea of this project came from, where we decided it'd be great if we could automate this process. Right? So instead of manually typing and adding each song, you simply type the link or copy the link of a playlist that you want to copy over to another platform. You take that link, put it into our website, our UI, click a single button, and then no matter how big the playlist is, all your songs will be added to that new or that different platform.
And you have a demo, right?
We do have a demo.
Perfect.
Yes.
Let's take a look at it. Oops, wrong demo. There you go.
Yeah. So I can kind of voice over. This is our UI. It's pretty simple. All I'm doing here is getting the link for the Spotify playlist. So here's my Spotify account. I have a few songs here, and I'd like to add it to my YouTube account because my premium has ended. So I'm just getting the link. And then I'm pasting it into our website here. And then all I did was click a single button. And then now it asks me to authenticate my Google account to log into YouTube. And here I'm showing that there are only 10 playlists, just like to show you the before and after. So after I log into my account and authenticate Google, continue, and then go back to my YouTube account and then refresh, all the playlists or all the songs from my Spotify playlist should be there in the top left corner. And then you can see all the songs are there. Very quick. You don't have to type in a bunch of songs and repeat that process. All you have to do is get a link.
That's awesome. Classic engineer, right? Why spend time doing it manually when you can spend even more time automating it?
Exactly. Yes.
All right, this is really great, Fee. Thank you. And I'm wondering, is there any plans to extend this to support moving from YouTube to Spotify?
So we actually do plan to implement going from YouTube to Spotify, but we also want to branch out to many other platforms such as Amazon Music, maybe Apple Music as well. That does bring up a lot of questions about the other APIs for those other platforms, mainly with authenticating accounts and stuff. However, because we're using like a JSON as a middleman, it's really easy. We just have to have 2 functions per platform that will get the playlist, and then another one that makes the playlist in the separate platform. So it's all very simple.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you're branching out to the other platforms. All right, one quick question for you all before I leave. Who's your favorite artist?
I cannot make that decision.
I like New Jeans.
Nice. Thank you, Fee and Cristian. This is a great project. All right, next we have Tileset Maker by Eevie. Hi, Eevie. Welcome to DEF CONF. Can you tell me a bit more about your project and what motivated you to get started?
Yeah, so I'm interested in going into game development, and I thought it would be fun to create something related to that. So game tile sets are really tedious to create. A full game tile set consists of 47 tiles, and many games use multiple tile sets, and that ends up being really time-consuming. So I wanted to simplify the process. I noticed that tiles have a lot of similarities, and I figured out a way to take advantage of that. When you split every tile into a 3x3 grid, you actually end up with only 8 unique pieces. And my project allows the user to draw these 8 images, which are then automatically rotated and combined to create the full 47 image tile set.
Awesome. And you have a demo as well, I believe?
Yep.
All right, let's take a look at that.
So here I have like a window where you can place down the tiles and see how it looks. It has auto tiling in it. And then this is the drawing window. It has some features like a color picker, different brush sizes. I have a fill bucket and an eyedropper tool.
Nice. And you also have an erase tool. Nice. Awesome. Great demo. So a quick question I have for you. Have you used this Tileset Maker to try and develop a game yet, or do you have any plans to do that?
Yeah, I don't really have any ideas for a game right now, but I definitely see myself using it to develop a game in the future.
And if someone wants to use it, how can they access it?
I have it on GitHub.
Okay, so you just go there and are able to build it and
You can download it.
download it. Okay, perfect. I don't know how game development works, so I have no idea. All right, and a question for you is, what is your favorite game?
I don't really have any specific favorites, but I like puzzle games and platformers.
Nice. Thank you, Eevie. Oops. All right. Next we have is Haunted Mansion Escape by Himani and Priscilla. Hello, welcome to DEF CONF. So, same question for you. Tell me more about your project and what motivated you to get started.
Okay. So our Haunted Mansion is a text-based adventure game where the player gets trapped by 3 ghosts in a haunted mansion. And to avoid imprisonment, they have to go through a series of rooms, completing a bunch of mini games for each room before they finally exit the game. What motivated us for this game was that we wanted to create a simple game, right? But we didn't want it to be just answering a couple of riddles and then finishing it off. So we decided to add more mini games to the project, so it would be a little bit more lengthier.
Nice, awesome, great job. And what did you find most exciting when creating this game?
Personally, it's been a while since I've done anything coding related, so I thought it was really fun seeing the differences when like debugging between Python and Java. Also, working with Priscilla and SoarCS was great.
Nice. So did you learn Python specifically for this project, or?
No, but it's
Well, personally for me, I have very little experience with Python and coding in general. So I found this project really helpful to help explore this language, and it let me play around with a few different elements like arrays, which I hate. I do not like arrays. They're very difficult. So it let me really just try to get a new understanding of the language and sort of expand beyond Java.
I think wait till you do C++ and introduced to
God.
pointers.
I've heard some interesting things.
Nice. You wanted to say something at that? No?
no, you asked a question.
Okay, yeah, cool. Did you have a demo? I didn't see that.
No, unfortunately, we did not.
Okay, all right. And I see that you have themes around Harry Potter. Who of you is a Harry Potter fan?
Oh, actually, I wrote it, but she's the Harry Potter fan.
You don't need to call me out for that.
I mean, you knew whatever it was called.
Yeah, nice. And what about, how did you come up with all the riddles and all that were there?
Okay, so the riddles are actually a bunch of Halloween jokes I found online, and but I decided to make them more riddle-like by adding a more rhyming element, which personally I had a lot of fun with, but finding words to rhyme with bones can be very difficult sometimes.
You can try ChatGPT for that next time. Awesome. Thank you so much. I think those are the questions I had for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Come on. There you go. All right. Next we have, is this working? Next we have is that working? Okay. Next we have is Foxfire Alchemy by Armando. All right, Armando, same question for you. Tell me about your project and what motivated you.
So I made a short RPG. It takes about like 2 or 3 minutes to finish. So, and I used like free assets I found online to help make them. And
Okay, bring it closer.
oh,
Yeah.
sorry. And what I just like making little games like this mainly because it's like a nice creative outlet. It helps me like stay motivated, and it's also like an more like instant feedback for learning programming, which I find fun.
Awesome. And you have a demo, right?
Yeah, we don't have to play the whole thing, but like
Yep.
just first few minutes, or just the first like minute. So here it's just moving around. That's one of the spells, and that's some of the dialogue. And then use a spell to burn things like that shrub. And up here you can push rocks, and then here you burn the grass and it spreads, which was very difficult to figure out. I spent probably like a few days on that alone. And we can stop here.
All right. Awesome. That looks really nice.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you use the Godot game engine.
Yes.
Is that open source?
Yes, it is. It's a very active open source project. Just the other day they released an update and had like 500 contributors. So, and I plan on contributing to it in the future as well.
Nice. And where did it originate from?
The Godot started as a project between 2 people, but now it's maintained by the community and a nonprofit called the Godot Foundation.
Okay, nice. And do you have any plans to add more features to the game?
Not this game specifically. I like making a lot of like small different projects, so I'll probably take what I learned from this one and just apply it to something else.
Nice, that's awesome. And what is your favorite video game?
I like.
It can be this one.
I really like Octopath Traveler 2 because I just like RPGs.
Nice. My brother recently got that, and he's been going crazy.
It's really
playing
fun.
that. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Armando. This looks really great.
All right, thank you.
No. Okay. We're skipping that one. All right. The next one we have is PYphone by Om, Jayam, and Shubh. Hello. Welcome.
Hi.
Same question for you all. Tell me a bit more about this project and what motivated you.
So our motivation was to create something simple but interesting, and that's where we came up with the idea of PYphone. It's basically a Python phone, which was created in Python. That's why it's called PYphone. It had 6 different apps, ranging from games, camera. It's basically mini phone that has like functions of a phone. Yeah, that's basically it.
Nice. And how did you decide on which apps you wanted to add into this phone?
We voted. We planned to put like 6 different apps,
Okay.
and it was supposed to be like around 3 games: a camera, a gallery, and a browser. But then he wanted to.
Yeah, so
It's on.
oh,
Yep.
oh, okay. So we started adding like I made one more program like a array sorter, which like stores like a array, like an unsorted array, and just which uses like bubble sort to sort the array. So I added that to it, and the cameras we use like an OpenCV to do it, and just like loop through save the photos and just show in the gallery and everything. And oh man, Jermaine made a snake and pawn game as an attribute.
Nice. Do you want anything to add to it?
Not really, but yeah, we created both of the game using Pygame, so
Okay.
it was fun learning about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so the Pong game, is that like a 1-player game, 2-player game? Is it the artificial intelligence that you play against?
So it's a 2-player game, but in future we are planning to add a bot, so you can play against a computer as well.
All right. Nice. And what is your favorite app from all of these?
Mine personally is Pong because I created that, so
Well, for me, it's the snake. I was the one who created it.
Nice.
I definitely like the snake as well. It's like kind of fun and like enjoyment. I have to see my app as well. So why not?
Nice.
It's
Is
kinda
the snake game similar to the old one we had on the old Nokia phones?
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's pretty similar.
Yeah. We also have a demo, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that.
Okay. Right now I'm just like showing the code. Like we have like a couple files. Like we try to separate the files and make it like more clean. And it should be.
Got clearer. So this is building right now?
Wait, is it?
Yeah, right.
Oh, I think that's not my. That's
Oh,
not my. Yes.
you are? Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, that's yours. Looks more like it.
Okay, that's the main GUI, and just trying to test the snake first. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
snake is pretty fast.
I remember I used to play this all the time on my dad's phone when I was a kid. Awesome. And what are your highest score in the snake game?
Mine is 30.
Almost like 20 is kind of fast, yeah.
yeah, I got to 25, but I think I can get more than that.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all. This is a great project.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, and the next one we have is called Scramble by Molly. Hello, Molly.
Hi.
So tell me a bit more about your project and what got you motivated.
So I really like Rubik's Cubes, and I noticed that when you looked up Rubik's Cube on the App Store, a lot of the apps aren't really quote-unquote beginner-friendly, as in it could be either like a solver where you can like insert the color of your Rubik's Cube. For example, if it was mixed up like this, you could insert each color, but that doesn't encourage you to actually learn how to solve it without the app itself. And I've noticed that the timers that are included only are just timers, and a lot of the notations or algorithms, which basically a notation is the face of a Rubik's Cube and how to turn it. It's pretty confusing, and it would basically encourage new users or me to leave the app itself and go into like Safari or Google to look up what it means. So this app essentially just is meant to be like a one-stop station where it includes a scrambler, a timer, and a little guide on showing what each face, or like how to turn each face of the Rubik's Cube and what it corresponds to the algorithm.
Nice, and you have a demo, right?
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at it.
So this is the app itself, and when you click scramble, it shows you the notations. Could you pause it real quick? Sorry.
Yeah.
So if you guys see it, I can't tell how good it is from your view, but it says F2. It basically means front 2, meaning that you turn the face of the Rubik's Cube that's towards you 2 times, so like this, 1, 2, and each face is just like that, and you can play it again, and it would just keep saying scramble until it says your cubes looks mixed up, and you can start the timer to time your solve, and once it stops in a second, you can reset it and go to the stats where you can keep track of your times. For example, for this time it was 2.59 seconds because I'm that good. And and then you can go to the notations, which this is what I was talking about, where it shows you how to turn each face of the Rubik's Cube. And let's go back to the home screen. Oh, I guess not. And yeah, basically that's the whole app, and it's meant to be, again, a one-stop station, and so the user doesn't have to leave the app to look up what a term or notation means.
Awesome, this is great. I think I need this. I've never successfully solved a Rubik's Cube before. So is there any logic to the Rubik's Scrambler, or is it just like random right now?
Currently it is random. I do want it to be like have some kind of logic with it, like using a if-else statement or something like that, but currently it is random through me making a list and putting all the notations on, meaning that because it is randomly generated, it might put up the same scramble twice. For example, like I showed you, it showed F2, it might show it again, which can put it back to the original the original spot, meaning that you didn't turn anything, but yeah.
Awesome. And what is your best time for solving a Rubik's Cube?
My best time is currently 18 seconds, and I got really lucky. Wow. Thank you. But normally I can solve it around 30 to 40 seconds.
Yeah, nice. Thank you, Molly. This is great. All right, these are all the projects we had from the SoarCS students. Let's give them another huge round of applause. I really love seeing how everyone is so interested in learning new technologies and are able to come up with these, great ideas and actually implement them. So thank you, Tom, for coordinating this amazing program. And I look forward to seeing what you all achieve in the next few years and in your career in the future. All right, so next we have is an intern showcase. So we've had an amazing intern batch at Red Hat this year, and we have picked 2 projects that we would like to highlight at DEF CONF today. The first one is Open Education Project by Meera Malhotra. Please welcome on stage. This is okay, right?
Hi. So my name's Meera.
I'm a student at Boston University, which I guess you're all familiar with, where I learned to program in a containerized lab environment. And now I'm a software engineering intern at Red Hat, where I work on the tool where I learned to program. So some of the things we're going to talk about is what is the Open Education Project, what it does, what we've been working on, and what are some of the outputs of the tooling. So what is the Open Education Project? So it has two main parts. One is a command line tool for authoring textbooks for professors and creating a containerized lab environment where students can learn to program. Our goal is to try to open source education. Every element of our project leverages open source. We use open data centers, open cloud infrastructure, if you've ever heard of the New England Research Cloud. We also use open tools and open file formats like Jupyter Notebooks. Even our textbooks are open source. The knowledge that we want to share is completely open for everyone. So why does this matter? If you've ever been in a computer science classroom, a lot of the time the first week is wasted trying to get everyone set up, and it's really hard with your own laptops to create a standardized environment. And especially with data science getting bigger and bigger, not everyone has the compute power on their laptops to run the same things. So this helps standardize the education process for everyone and gives teachers their time back. It also makes the classroom more dynamic. We've been teaching the same way since like ancient Greece to now. So having students have more of a say in their learning process, be able to follow along. I know personally when I took OP courses in college, if you were able to create a pull request and tell your teacher they were wrong, you'd get extra credit. So it's really cool. It brings students back into the conversation. You're not just being lectured at like I'm doing to you right now. And it also helps lower the cost of education because textbooks are egregiously expensive. So these are open source. Anyone can contribute to them. And professors also have control over what's going into the textbooks. So I keep talking about a containerized lab environment, and that's kind of hard to visualize. So I wanted to show you guys what that kind of looks like. We actually stripped down a lot of the extra features, so we forced kids to use Emacs and Vim and Git, so they don't get any of the easy stuff that Jupyter Hub has to offer, but I wanted to give you guys a feel for what the container environment looks like. Teachers can also create slides from Jupyter Notebooks with the Rise extension. You can see pandas and NumPy are already part of the container, so you can run data science workloads. As you can tell, I love cats. So part of my goal for this summer was to update the OP infrastructure and create a class image for the next semester of BU students. And I also wanted to make it so the tool is easier for professors to use and that they have more options. So one of the first things I worked on was making the tool easier to use, whether that was documentation, cutting down on the time it takes to install the tool, and actually including the tool in the container so professors can build their textbooks in the same places they teach. So part of that included updating the container infrastructure, adding new features for students and teachers, like now you don't have to necessarily expose your students to Git. You can pull just from a link, or if you want to visualize Git, we have something like that too. You can SSH into a terminal if you don't like our terminal environment. We also worked on resolving different issues between conflicting software, and adding data science workloads to our test book. So basically, we run tests using our test book to see if everything's working okay. Another thing I worked on was the inclusion of workspaces for professors. So as we all know, professors are very overworked and under-resourced. So we wanted to give them more options for how they can create content for their classes. So if anybody knows what InstructLab is, I know a lot of Red Hatters are in the room and have probably heard about it a lot, but it's Red Hat's open source LLM. And basically we wanted to create a content coach. So if you're training teaching staff to create content based off of your old teaching material, you could have a space to do that in a mounted environment. And unfortunately, the LLM is not available for students. We have to learn. But since professors already have a huge mass of question and answers, which is how you train InstructLab, you can basically train InstructLab in the container environment on your coursework material and basically have a personalized LLM for your class. And you can use that as a chatbot for your teaching staff or a way to create content. This is me chatting with it in the container environment. And all of the chat logs are mounted in the container, so they're saved, and you can make course content with it. That's, I think I ask it what a pointer is. But yeah, if you've ever played with InstructLab, it looks really familiar. Another thing I worked on was authoring my own textbook. So it's focused on the gaps between education and like working in a professional setting. A lot of the things we learn in school are super theory-based, and then we moved to like professional settings and we learned completely different things. And I wanted to help like bridge the gap, which is where I currently am. And it was really cool. I got to meet a bunch of really cool engineers and interview them. Part of the book hopes to address like imposter syndrome in young engineers. And part of the fun with OPE is it's all open source. So you can create a pull request on my book. If I have probably a ton of typos in there. I've been told I have typos in there. So that's the fun of it. You can also author your own textbook. It doesn't have to be about like programming. It could be about cooking. It could be about your favorite books. It's all hosted with GitHub pages, so you can share it with people. It's really fun to get involved and like share what you know and share your personal experience. So this is what my textbook looks like. You guys can check it out on the slides. I would love to add more to the textbook, and we want to try to make the OPE tool easier to use in the future. So we're thinking of creating an extension, especially for humanities teachers who don't necessarily know how to start up a container, just making the tool more accessible all around for everybody. And we hopefully will be able to support the 500 students at BU who use the tool. And if you want to start with the tool or authoring your own textbook, or if you just want to put a pull request on mine, like here's some repo links. But yeah, and I want to thank everyone on my team who's been super helpful and supportive throughout my internship process. Thank you.
Thank you, Meera. That was really amazing. All right, next we have ESI, UI, and OpenStack dashboard by Austin Jamias.
Hello, everyone. My name is Austin Jamias, and I am a Red Hat intern on the research team since this past summer, and I'll be continuing into November. So my project is ESI UI on OpenStack dashboard and OpenStack Horizon plugin. So, oh, you can't see that. So this is just what I'll be discussing today. I'll read it out because you guys can't see that. So I'll be talking about some context and definitions. What is this ESI UI? What is ESI? Some use cases, so who will use this? What does it look like since it is a UI? And I'll give a comparison between the CLI and the actions that you can take on this web browser. And I'll talk about some of the past development phases and some of the future development phases that will take place for this project. Oh, you can't see that either. Okay, so some context definitions. So OpenStack is an open source infrastructure as a service platform for building clouds. This UI is basically a plugin for OpenStack. Horizon is a OpenStack dashboard project. So Horizon is the project for, is the base dashboard for OpenStack. So you'll be able to see all your nodes, you'll be able to configure your networks, all that kind of stuff, provision your nodes. Elastic Secure Infrastructure, or ESI, is a bare metal cloud for leasing hardware. And this is a plugin built on top of OpenStack, which enables bare metal services. So when you switch hardware between different users, between one another, you would have to do a lot of configuration in the backend. And what ESI does is to help alleviate this problem for you through simple commands, or simple CLI commands, but now through the browser. And some current ESI users are OKD, so they almost have around 30 nodes for their CI jobs, and they have integrated those nodes into some of their own hardware that they own. So you can, with ESI, you can have this combination of having your own nodes and your leased nodes from ESI to do whatever your project or your organization has to do. For NERC, there are a bunch of OpenShift and OpenStack clusters integrated into their private networks. And for Red Hat, there are various OpenShift clusters for testing their software. And for research projects for universities all across the Boston and beyond, there are many projects such as the Unikernel that are using ESI to lease out their nodes right now. So previously, ESI has been accessed via command line tools like Python ESI client and Python ESI Leap client. And now you will be able to access these services through the web browser. So you'll be able to manage your nodes and leases. So you'll be able to provision with a given image. You'll be able to manage your networks. You'll be able to see what nodes are available from which organizations that offer them up to the other projects. And you'll be able to visualize the bare metal topology of your given bare metal nodes, which is a lot easier to visualize through the browser and not through the command line. And I will say that the CLI is not harder to use, but the GUI makes things easier, especially for those who are new to OpenStack and for university students who need to spend less time on onboarding and more time focusing on their work for their projects. So here's a bit of the client-server architecture. Basically, you have the browser, which is using AngularJS. It sends HTTP requests to the node controller that's hosting the Horizon service, and then a bunch of microservices in the backend for, let's say, the ESI service or the bare metal service or the identity service. So here's the panel for seeing your nodes. So you can see some of the rows have your essential information that you need for your project, such as your provision state. You'll need to know whether or not it's actually being deployed. You'll need to see if it's on or off. You'll need to see if it's in maintenance mode, and you'll need to see how long you have this node for. And in the dropdown, I decided not to show it up here because the dropdown is very long. It has a lot of information, but in the dropdown, you'll be able to see more lease information, your network information, and yeah. And the actions that you can currently take right now is being able to manage your networks, provision, and simple power actions. This is what the offer page looks like. So you'll be able to see the availabilities of when you can lease out nodes, and it's a much simpler claiming process compared to the command line, as you'll see later in this presentation. And this is what the bare metal topology looks like. So you can see that the nodes with the clouds are the actual networks. The nodes with the computer icon are the bare metal nodes that you leased out or own yourself. The target symbols are the network ports that are connected to the network and your node, your compute node, and that arrow cross thingy is a router. Yeah, oh, you can't see that either. So some of the use cases, so this is really good for researchers because they'll be able to visualize their system architecture better. And like I said, university students will have will spend less time trying to learn the technologies to use for their projects, to manage their system for their projects. It reduces the need for complex installation processes. So installing the command line tools is a much harder process rather than just searching up a URL on the internet, on the browser. So for visibility, people will be able to see the topology rather than trying to think much harder about what it looks like from a list of nodes and a list of MAC addresses and a list of networks. And for reporting, administrators can see how the billing would look like for the different nodes that they lease out to more people. So here's just a comparison of what you would look like, or what it would look like for provisioning a node. So the above command is very complex. You wouldn't, whenever I look at that, I always have to spend at least like a minute to figure out what I would need for the options. But here, for the UI, you would only see 3 options, 3 drop-down options, and only one of them is required. And what this does is that it fetches all the available images, all the available networks, all the available SSH keys beforehand, so you don't have to type out a bunch of other commands to actually list out the image names and networks and SSH keys on the command line. Here's another panel for managing your networks. Kind of the same thing, except just you see your MAC addresses, networks, ports, and trunks. And here's my favorite comparison, the bare metal topology. I would not be able to understand what my system architecture would look like from the above output. So having this graph is definitely a nice time saver and a much easier ease on the eyes to me for my projects. And one benefit of having this for the offer times is that you wouldn't have to understand the ISO standard for entering in the times on the command line. So you could easily just type in your month, day, year, and time for taking up the offers for the nodes. Yeah, so these are my development phases. In the past, I've just been reading documentation at the start of my internship. And that was mainly for installing the Horizon Dev environment. So yeah, some of the tasks that I did were migrating logic from the CLI into an SDK so that both the CLI and the GUI can use that SDK for their functionalities. And in the future, we have a bit of cleaning up to do since this UI is a new project. It's started this summer. I started it. And in the future, we'll be able to support AI-related deployments with GPUs, so Rel AI, such as Rel AI and InstructLab. Right now, you only saw the lessee view, so in the future, there will be an admin view where they will have more, they will be able to access more of the functionality. They'll have the authorization to create leases, create nodes, all that kind of stuff. And we're still trying to grow the ESI user base, so more people use this GUI, use this service. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Austin. That was great. So we are looking for help with these two projects. If anyone is interested, please feel free to reach out to us. It's an open source project, as we know, so all the contributions are welcome. I have a quick surprise for you. So one of the student projects that we had to skip because the student was running late because, as we all know, the Boston MBTA is not always reliable. But he has made it, so I think we're going to give him a chance to talk about his project. And that is the ALPR prototype by Lourenco, Vettri, and Jack. Please come on stage. Welcome. I'm glad you could make it.
Thank you.
All right. So tell me a bit more about your project and what motivated you to get started with this.
All right, so our ALPR, we started last year as seniors in high school. We both went to the same high school, Grafton High School, as well as our friend Jack. He couldn't make it. He's got some family issues. But he was definitely a big contribution to the start of this project. Our main motivation was my personal interest in cars. I modify cars, build cars, restore cars. I also do a little bit of racetrack driving. Of course, everything legal on the road. But definitely, so our ALPR, automatic license plate reader, is a baseline prototype that we want to eventually move to our local law enforcement, which will be able to grab license plates of cars that are speeding by, committing violations, without having a police officer present.
So our project is based on two AI models. The first one is a computer vision model called YOLO V8. You might be familiar with it. And that basically detects like license plates from a live feed, and it'll essentially take like a screenshot of the frame with the license plate, and then that sends it to the next AI, which we've been testing a few different models. The first one we used was from OpenAI, but we found some like issue when it came to the model not reading the license plate because it's like against like its terms of service and privacy details or something.
And how did you source your data?
We sourced our data from the Open Images dataset. We just looked up vehicle registration plate, and we got a bunch of annotated data sample so that we could use to train YOLO V8.
Nice. And you have a demo video, I believe? I think I accidentally started playing it for another project.
Yeah.
But yeah, here you go.
Yeah, so right now it's just, this is the second model that's waiting for the first model to start up. There's the live video feed. For right now, we're just using like images of license plate on a piece of paper. And you could see like the bounding boxes around the license plate. Whenever it turns blue, that means it's like taking a picture, and it'll start reading from there. So now we scanned all of them. If you could skip forward in the video like a little bit.
Yep.
Like, actually, I think that
All
much.
the way there?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
All right.
So now you see in the output, it shows the license plate number. And up on the top, you see on the side, it says detected plate 1, detected plate 2. Those are all of the images that it took of the license plate since it detected the license plate.
Awesome. That's nice.
Our future plans in terms of detection is that we want to raise the confidence level of the AI, so it'll only grab an image when it is, let's say 90, for example, % confident that it has the correct characters. Because at the end of that video, it did miss one of the characters from the Massachusetts plate. I believe that it's due mainly towards the webcam and the resources that we use, because we were using a $20 webcam we bought on Amazon. But you know, with more high-tech camera equipment, and we eventually want to connect it to a live feed so it can actually be used and put into a data set automatically.
Also, leveraging faster hardware and like probably a more efficient LLM that we can use to analyze the images once they've been taken. That'll probably help more because we skipped through the video, but like there was a entire minute in there where it was kind of just like, it was just reading the images and it couldn't output fast enough.
Have you tested this on like license plates from various states? Have you seen any issues with how different states have different license plates designed, or?
Since our data set is like comprehensive to like license plates from like all states and even like other countries, it's it can do almost any of them, and all of them have like similar issues. So it's not a it's not specific to any like state or any country. It's just in general, it's slightly off.
Awesome, nice. And a question for both of you: do you think AI will take over the world?
I don't think AI will take over the world. I think that people have to grasp how to use AI as a powerful tool instead of a risk to jobs. I believe that with the kids coming up learning computer science, that they should be more involved in AI. Mm-hmm. As in my high school, I went through 3 computer science classes, and we were never taught how to use AI properly when it's plagiarism or used as a utility tool. So I think that in the following years, they'll go more into that and allow kids to learn how to use AI effectively.
Nice.
If it does take over the world, just pull out the plug. That's all we got to do.
Thank you both. This was great. And I'm glad you could make it.
Thank you.
All right. Before I let you all go, we have one announcement to make. Rajan, do you want to come on stage? So, if you've been enjoying DEF CONF US, we have a 3rd chapter that's coming back. Brian is here as well.
Hi. Hello all, good morning. So I'm Rajan, and I'm part of ecosystem engineering in Red Hat. And I'm here to announce that we are officially bringing back the DEF CONF India edition. That's after, I think so, after 5 years in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the dates are here. It's February 28 and 1st of March. That's for 2 days, and you can scan the code. We have the website and everything, and you can follow there for the updates. And all of you are welcome there. Thank you. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, just on behalf of the Red Hat's Open Source Program Office, who is one of the sponsors of this event, and DEF CONF CZ, and now again DEF CONF IM, we're very excited to restart this member of the DEF CONF family. Urvashi and Sally have done an amazing job here at the US, and they should be giving yet another hand of applause. And we welcome to see the incredible output that we're going to see from your team in Pune next year.
Yep,
so thank you.
Thank you all.
See you all there. Thank you. And one quick announcement, we have a book signing by the great Dan Walsh at 12:30 p.m. in the Ziskin Lounge. If you would like to get a free copy of Podman in Action signed by the author himself, be there at 12:30. See y'all and hope you have a good 3rd day of DEF CONF.